Hello and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm Shayla. Today's video is going to be about habits, and more specifically, a little personal challenge that I'm doing for myself right now that I ended up sharing on my Instagram that is now turned into a community challenge. And that is my 28-day habit challenge, which is inspired by the Yoga Inspired Life, which is my podcast and 12-week self-discovery program. So the idea for this challenge originally started, like I said, for myself, because I found myself not fully in a routine that serves my highest self. And while I'm really in routine with certain things like daily walking and my workouts 3 times a week, there were a few other habits that I just was not vibing with. And what I mean by that was there are certain habits that I was partaking in that were really not serving me in a positive way. And then there were also other habits that I know serve me in a positive way that for some reason I wasn't prioritizing. Why do we do that? Why is it so hard for us sometimes to do the things that make us feel good? I don't know. But when I really thought about how I wanted to move into February, I realized that I really wanted to dedicate this month to filling up my own cup. I know with February, a lot of us think of Valentine's Day, and with Valentine's Day, a lot of us think of relationships and being in partnerships. But I really wanted to focus this month on the relationship that I have with myself, which is the most important relationship that I'll ever have in this lifetime. And the same goes for you. Having a strong relationship to yourself, building healthy boundaries for yourself, and really cultivating a daily routine that is serving your highest good is so freaking powerful, you guys. And the reason why this habit challenge is inspired by my program and my podcast, The Yoga Inspired Life, is because that is a major piece of the puzzle in the method that I teach. And it's been the major piece of the puzzle in me creating my dream life. I really do believe that the success of your future is hidden in your daily routine. Your habits and the things that you choose to do on a daily basis are really important. And I don't know about you, but it feels like lately each day is going by so quickly. And while I'm doing some of the things that I want to do, there's still a lot more things that I'm not prioritizing and I'm not making time for. And I just don't want to live my life like that. Awareness is the key, guys. We gotta get aware, we gotta get intentional with our time. And I know I used to do monthly intention videos and I stopped doing that because I've been setting seasonal intentions, which are still very much a part of my wellness routine. I decided to take advantage of February being a 28-day month this year and do a 28-day habit challenge. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, it's already February 6th, 7th, 8th, it's March, it's June, whenever, you can still do this challenge. You can just do it over a 28-day period. I just decided originally to do it in February because February is 28 days. And like I said, I wasn't originally planning on making it a thing that I was going to share or invite people to join me in. I literally was just doing it for myself because I am ready to make a shift and up level and get into a really solid routine for 2021. So whether you're doing this with me in February or you're doing this in another month, it doesn't really matter. The 28-day habit challenge is all about you committing to a certain amount of goals and intentions, which I will get into, for 28 days straight, with the intention of building habits that support your highest good. Start showing up as your highest self right now. Stop making excuses, start prioritizing the things that make you feel good, and start making them a habit today. I know there's different schools of thought on how long it actually takes to build a habit, but I keep coming back to that idea of 28 days to build a habit. And I know from experience, habit building is all about consistency. It's all about showing up, and it's all about setting yourself up for success. Anytime I've set super lofty goals or intentions that are maybe ideal for me, but overwhelming, I end up not forming the habit. Because, for instance, I always say, okay, I want to meditate every day for 20 minutes. I want to get on my yoga mat every day for an hour. And some days that just feels like a lot. And that thought alone will paralyze me and stop me from actually doing the thing. Whereas this time, I'm committing to simple habits that incorporate the things that I want to do, but I'm making the goal of each intention doable and approachable. Before I get into the logistics of this 28-day habit challenge, I do want to let you know that I have created 3 free printable graphics for you to use on your 28-day habit challenge journey. I have 2 monthly trackers as well as an Instagram story template, and you can find all of those for free, like I said, on my website. I actually did a blog post and kind of got into this a little bit more and also included the graphics. So I will link that in the description box below for you. But the first step in joining and doing and committing to this 28-day habit challenge is to pick anywhere from 1 to 6 goals, intentions, habits that you are going to commit to for the next 28 days straight. I say 6 maximum because we're not trying to overwhelm ourselves. And if you're anything like me, and I feel like I've talked about this before, but my goal list and my to-do lists, I just go a little haywire. And it's like, we love that you're an overachiever, but we gotta keep it reasonable. And I'm not saying like put limitations on yourself, but I'm just saying simplify this for yourself. Start small. Overhauling everything at once or trying to add in 100 new habits at once is super overwhelming. I love the enthusiasm. I get the enthusiasm. I am so on the same page as you, but I'm telling you, if you start small, you will find more success. As far as how to pick your goals, intentions, and habits that you want to commit to for 28 days, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. The first question, and this might be something that's good for you to journal. That's what I did. I made 2 columns. The first column are going to be the things that you're going to put down to answer. What habits are keeping me from showing up as my highest self? What things am I doing on a daily basis that are not serving me in a positive way? What habits am I engaging in that are not productive or, like I said, not serving my highest self? You're gonna list out all the things in that column. And then the other column, you're gonna list your answers to the question of what are the things that I keep putting off that I really wanna do? For me, some of the things in my first column, which were habits that I'm engaging in that are not serving my highest good. Ordering Postmates every day, sometimes multiple times a day, which you guys know to be true if you watched my last vlog. Staying up too late, watching Netflix on my computer in bed, scrolling on TikTok or Instagram late at night, scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, social media first thing in the morning, opening up my emails first thing in the morning, waking up in bed and literally getting on my phone and jumping right into work and being overstimulated. The other thing was not prioritizing my wellness routine, right? Like instead of going on my morning walk, which I always do, I'm very good about that, and then coming home and having some time to myself to ground down, I got into a really bad habit of jumping right on the computer and getting right to work, which is a tough thing for me because I am so excited to start working each day and I'm so into what I'm doing and I'm passionate about it and I love it. But I have to set hard boundaries around work and self-care. Otherwise, I will let self-care right out the window, and that's just not sustainable or healthy. Those were some of the things in my first column. The second column were things that I am really passionate about, that I want to do, but that I just seem to be putting off or not making time for. My meditation practice, like I said, I'd go on my walk and I'd come home. When I wanted to meditate, instead I would be like, I don't have time for a 20-minute meditation, so I would get on my computer and start working. My yoga practice is another one. I don't know what happened. I just stopped prioritizing it and got out of the habit. Reading, also engaging in things that just bring me pleasure, not having to always be learning, growing, expanding, creating, working. Again, I am a very get shit done type of person and I love growth and expansion and I want to always be learning and doing and creating, but that is not sustainable. So first, get your list down. Then the next thing that you want to do is you want to pick 6 things from both of those lists, so 6 total max. You can choose less if you want to focus on less, but no more than 6 that you want to focus on and commit to, either doing or not doing. And I'm going to invite you to pick commitments that you can achieve and that you can do. We'll get into that in a second, but also things that are going to make a big impact in your life. Again, the idea here is not to go balls to the wall and overhaul your entire life. The idea here is to commit to new habits that are going to be challenging but not intimidating, that are sustainable and super impactful. So the way to make some of these commitments less intimidating is to not be too hardcore about them. We'll use my meditation practice as an example. I had set a seasonal intention of meditating for 10 to 20 minutes every day. I don't know why 10 to 20 minutes seems like a lot, but it is. And for some reason, when I'm about to meditate, I'm like, 20 minutes, I just can't. I don't have the time right now. And I won't do it. So in this 28-day habit challenge, I just simplified it for myself. And I said, for 28 days, I'm going to commit to sitting in stillness for 5 minutes a day. That's it. 5 minutes. Now, funny enough, I'm 5 days in today, and each day I've meditated for closer to 8 minutes. So, just saying. But for some reason, knowing that I only have to sit for 5 minutes makes it so much less intimidating. And again, the idea here is not perfection, it's progress, right? Not balls to the wall. We're just trying to get into the habit. And most likely, these habits and commitments that you're promising to yourself are things that are gonna make you feel good. So most likely, once you start doing them, you're gonna feel good and you're gonna wanna keep doing them, or you're gonna wanna do them for longer. So try to simplify your habits and commitments. Example A was my meditation practice. Example B is my yoga practice. Instead of saying every day I'm gonna get on my mat for an hour, I just really brought it down to earth, and I was like, every day I'm gonna commit to getting on my mat for 10 minutes. And I've gotten on my mat for closer to 40 minutes every day. But again, for some reason, it's just so much less intimidating when it's a smaller amount of time. It's something that I know that I can stick to every day. Like, it's a no-brainer. Also, I think that that hack is just a way to kind of trick your brain, because when I think about not meditating, I literally will have a moment where I'm like, Shayla, do not be ridiculous. You can sit down for 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. Or my yoga practice, I'm like, I don't have time. Yesterday I was like, I'm short on time. And I was like, it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. Don't be silly. You can get on your mat for 10 minutes. You know, so it's just kind of a way to, again, simplify it. So, side note, annoyingly, my printer decided to die on me. I've literally had it for so long. So I had to order a new printer, which I'm still waiting for it to get here. That's relevant because I can't print out the really cute month-long printable graphics that I made for this challenge yet. I'm still waiting. So I am gonna pop a picture of them here on the screen as I'm kind of explaining how to use each one. My printer is supposed to come in like 2 days, and then I can print it out. I'm not gonna lie, I love a list, I love ticking things off my list, and I love a good challenge. I noticed that I'm super successful with keeping my commitments slash up-leveling my life slash crushing my goals when I create a challenge for myself, which is why I think this 28-day habit challenge is so effective. The first printable graphic that I made is an overall month-long graph where you're gonna list out your goals and intentions for the 28-day habit challenge. You're also gonna write out your why, which I think is really important. When you have a strong why behind the things that you're doing, especially when they're challenging, it really sets you up for success because you're able to come back to that really soul deep passion for getting out of your comfort zone, if that makes sense. This is a challenge, right? It's not gonna be easy. You're picking things that have been challenging for you to stick with, and you're committing to them. So having a really strong why behind why you're doing this 28-day habit challenge is really gonna help fuel you for the 28 days so you can stick to it. So the month overview has 28 days where you can check off each day. You'll list out your goals, intentions, your why, and then I left a blank spot on the bottom where you can write in an inspiring quote, or maybe a mantra for the month, or even an affirmation for the month, or maybe you even list out a reward for yourself, something that you're gonna treat yourself to at the end of completing the 28 days. The second printable tracker that I made is more of a daily tracker, and it has a space for each of your commitments for the 28 days. And that way, let's say one day you miss your meditation, don't miss it. But if you do and you don't fill that in, then you can go in and fill in each habit so that you can really keep track of your day-to-day habits and your progress on a day-to-day basis with your commitments. And then, like I said, I also made an Instagram story template where you can write your intentions and goals and keep track on Instagram. And the reason why I decided to do that is because I do think that there is a lot of power in sharing what you're doing because it holds you accountable. Now, that is not to say that I think that you should share everything, because there are definitely certain goals or intentions that I have that I don't share with anyone because those are my personal goals and that's personal to me, and I don't think that you are obligated to share anything with anyone. So if that part of the 28-day habit challenge doesn't resonate with you, you definitely don't have to. But I have noticed that in building my Instagram community, when I say that I'm gonna do something to my community, or when I say I'm gonna do something to my friends or even to my mom, I'm much more likely to continue doing it because I don't wanna have to tell them that I stopped or that I quit. I don't know if that's healthy. I'm having a moment here where I'm like, I don't know, but it's a really good motivator for me, and it might be for you too. And over 300 people, when I originally posted this on my Instagram, which was literally posted as an afterthought, I had over 300 people say, I want to do this challenge with you. So the fun thing about sharing on your Instagram and tagging me is it's just fun and motivating and inspiring for me to know that I'm doing it with you, and for you to know that there are so many other people joining in on this 28-day habit challenge. Again, if you're not doing it in real time, it's totally fine, but I still would love for you to use the Instagram story template and tag me so that I can see what you're doing and what you're working on. The other fun thing about using your Instagram to motivate you and keep you on track is that I'm posting daily updates, which I don't know about you, but when I see my friends and family or even people on social media that I admire and look up to, when they share their daily habits, it does inspire me to get up off my butt and like get the thing done. I'm like, oh, she's working out. You know what? I should get up and work out, or whatever it is, you know? So hopefully by me sharing my process, that's inspiring you to continue on your path, and it's just fun. It's just a good way to connect with other people and know that you are not alone in doing this. And for some reason, when we feel like we are engaged in something as a collective, it can really inspire and motivate us to stick to our commitments. Beyond this being just about creating healthy habits and getting into a healthy routine, there is something that is incredibly powerful about keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And I've talked about this before, but my life really changed for the better when I stopped breaking promises to myself. Being impeccable with your word, especially to yourself, is a very valuable characteristic to have. And it really does help strengthen the relationship with yourself, and it helps strengthen your self-trust. Before I wrap this video up, I thought it would be fun for me to share my personal goals and commitments for the 28-day habit challenge. Kind of like bringing back the old vibes of my monthly intentions videos. My first commitment is to get on my yoga mat every day for at least 10 minutes. My second commitment is to meditate for 5 minutes a day. If I meditate for more, amazing. But at the very least, I'm going to commit to sitting in stillness for 5 minutes. My third commitment for the 28-day habit challenge is to not get on my phone first thing in the morning. Number 4 is no ordering via Postmates, Caviar, Grubhub, or any other delivery service. Well, except for Amazon grocery delivery, because that's totally different. No ordering takeout. I can go out to eat if I choose to, mindfully, but I'm not ordering in takeout, except on Valentine's Day. If I'm in the vibe of treating myself, I might get to Valentine's Day and be like, I want to cook a meal for myself instead, and that would be amazing. But I've left that open-ended because I'm trying to be flexible in the way that I approach these habits. And the point is to just be more mindful. It's like, will I use Postmates again one day? Probably, but I just want to be more mindful about when I use it. My next commitment is to get in bed no later than 10 p.m. without my phone and without my laptop in bed. So instead of scrolling on TikTok or Instagram in my bed or watching Netflix on my computer in bed, I'm going to read instead. And I'm gonna get in bed at 10 p.m. latest, which, mind you, again, kind of tying into what I was saying earlier, I've actually gotten in bed a lot earlier than 10 p.m., which is funny because for a while it was like 10:30, 11, getting in bed at 11, staying awake later. I'm like, it's just not a vibe when you're waking up at 6 or 6:30. My last commitment for the 28-day habit challenge is to read my novel cover to cover. I have linked this for you in the description box below because it is really good. I'm already pretty deep into this book and I'm loving it. I'm normally reading a self-development book, a self-help book, something about yoga. I'm learning, I'm expanding, I'm growing, I'm working, you know, but I needed a break, and I like to break it up sometimes with like a feel-good novel, but I am really picky about books. I don't like to just like read a book to read a book. I want to be pulled into the book. I want to be into the book. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm not big into wasting my time, except for when I'm scrolling on social media late at night. So with that being said, this book is seriously so good. I'm loving it so far. I'm like excited to read it. I want to get in bed and read it. So this book has just been a really fun way for me to fill up my cup and find some joy outside of producing and progress and work and such. That is my 28-day habit challenge. I hope that you will take part in it with me. Again, if you want more info and you want to get your hands on those free graphics to use for the 28-day habit challenge, head to the link in the description box below. You can download all of them from my website. All right, it's time for me to go and get my yoga on, make myself some lunch, sticking to my commitments for this 28-day habit challenge. If you're not already, make sure you're subscribed. I upload new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.